When you picture a weekend in Malaysia, what comes to mind? Is it crazy theme parks, shopping malls that are basically cities in themselves? Well, we're about to peel back the layers on the Malaysian weekend, and I promise you, what we find is probably not what you're expecting.
So that gets us to the big question we're tackling today. What does a perfect Malaysian weekend really look like? Is it all that high-energy adventure we see in the travel brochures, or is there something, I don't know, a little quieter going on? Let's dive in. All right, first up, let's talk about the myth. The popular, almost cinematic version of a Malaysian weekend that's plastered all over Instagram and in our heads. Yeah, this is the image, right? Malaysia as this place that's just buzzing with energy 24/7. From these huge, air-conditioned malls in Kuala Lumpur to wild outdoor adventures just a short drive away, the whole vibe is go, go, go. A country that never seems to sleep. And I mean, look at this list. It's basically an adrenaline junkie's dream. You've got massive theme parks like Legoland and Sunway Lagoon. You've got off-road ATV adventures. You can literally go-kart on top of a skyscraper. Throw in some whitewater rafting and malls that are open practically all night. And yeah, you get a picture of a weekend that is absolutely jam-packed. And this quote from travel stylist just nails it. It perfectly captures that Malaysia boleh, or Malaysia can-do-it spirit. It's this national drive to have the biggest, the best, the tallest, and that definitely fuels this larger-than-life image of constant adventure. But is that the whole story? Okay, so we've seen the myth. It's big, it's loud, it's exciting. But what happens when you actually ask Malaysians what they want to do? Well, let's look at the data, because honestly, it tells a very, very different story. So before I show you the results, just take a second and guess. Based on everything we just talked about, you'd probably think the top answer is hitting the malls, or maybe a road trip, right? Well, get ready for a twist. And there it is. Wow. According to a huge survey by Silisos, a staggering 69%, that is nearly 7 out of every 10 Malaysians, said their perfect weekend is just quiet time at home. All that adventure stuff? Not even close. Mall activities, the thing you'd expect to be number one, comes in at a distant third place. And here's another nail in the coffin for the myth. How much are people typically spending on these perfect weekends? The most common answer was less than 100 ringgit. We're talking about 20 US dollars. That's not exactly a budget for a high-flying adventure park. That's the budget for a cozy, low-key weekend at home. And forget about massive parties. The data shows the ideal hangout is a really small, intimate one. Almost half of people just want a small group of less than 5, and another third prefer just one-on-one time. So the big takeaway here is that the real Malaysian weekend is way quieter, cheaper, and more personal than the myth would have us believe. If this breakdown is giving you a clearer picture, hit like and subscribe so you'll always stay ahead on Malaysia's biggest issues. Okay, so that brings up a huge question, right? Why is there such a massive disconnect between the myth and reality? Why is home the place to be for the weekend? Let's get into the reasons. Oh man, anybody who's ever tried to drive anywhere in Malaysia on a weekend or a public holiday knows exactly what this Reddit user is talking about. The traffic can be a complete nightmare. For a lot of people, sitting in a jam for hours just isn't worth it. Staying home is basically an act of self-care. So who are these spending all this quality time at home with? Well, the survey shows a really strong preference for friends and family, even more so than romantic partners. And that just reinforces why staying home is so appealing. It's just easier and way more relaxing to have a few friends over or just chill with your family than to plan some big formal outing. Okay, so we know people are spending less, but when they do decide to open their wallets, what are they actually spending their money on? Let's dig into the financial side of things. This part is actually pretty fascinating. A study by Marketing Interactive found that when Malaysians spend money, it's often to reward themselves. But the reason why is different depending on your income. For lower income groups, it's more about lifting your spirits, relieving stress. For higher income groups, it's about celebrating a win. So the spending isn't just for fun, it serves a much deeper psychological need. So what do those rewards actually look like? You can see that while higher income folks might splurge on a vacation, lower income groups might go for a new gadget or some skincare. But look at the bottom. What's the one thing that cuts across all groups? Eating out. It's the universal reward, a simple pleasure that pretty much everyone enjoys. So we have this high-energy, adventurous myth on one side, and this quiet, home-based reality on the other. They seem like total opposites, right? But what if I told you they're both powered by the exact same core value? What if it's all about connection? In Malaysia, food is the ultimate social glue. I mean, just take nasi lemak, the national dish. It's so much more than just a meal. It's an experience you share with family. It's a reason to get together with your friends at the local mamak stall late at night. Food is really the language of connection here.
And this whole idea of connection is just woven right into the culture of eating together. These aren't just random rules. They're traditions built around respect and making people feel welcome. Whether it's taking off your shoes or knowing who's going to pay for the meal, the goal is always the same, to strengthen those bonds over some good food.
And here's the last piece of the puzzle. Malaysia has one of the highest numbers of public holidays in the entire world. This gives people incredible flexibility. You don't have to cram everything, all your chores, your adventures, your rest, into just 2 days. It means you can have both. That epic road trip during a long holiday weekend and those quiet, recharging weekends at home in between.
We've covered a lot today, from busting myths to digging into cultural habits. Join thousands of Malaysians who want clarity, not confusion. Tap like, hit subscribe, and let's keep making sense of this together. So when you really put it all together, the Malaysian weekend isn't an either-or situation. It's not adventure or quiet. It's a balance. It's this really cool blend of that ambitious Malaysia Boleh energy and the simple, deep joy of just being with the people you care about.
And that kind of leaves us with one last thought to chew on. In a country that has so many official days to celebrate, maybe the greatest celebration of all isn't on the calendar. Maybe it's just the simple, quiet, and priceless time spent together.